Hello, this is going to be lesson 1.3, subtracting integers. Okay, we are going to start with our PowerPoint. Okay, in the last lesson you worked with adding integers. Now you are going to be working with subtracting integers. And these are the standards. These are the I can statements that come directly from the standard that we will be working on. I can subtract integers using a number line, and I can subtract integers with the same and different signs. This is standard NS1. Apply and extend previous understandings of addition and subtraction to add and subtract rational numbers. Integers are rational numbers, so that's what we will be doing. Represent addition and subtraction on a horizontal or vertical number line diagram. So we'll be continuing our understanding of number lines today. I'm going to put myself here away for a bit so you can get the whole screen to see. We are also going to cover another portion of NS1C, understanding subtraction. So don't worry so much about what it says right now with the additive inverse. We're going to talk about that today. So let's get started. Here's my math joke of the day. What did the 0 say to the 8? Nice belt. Okay. So hopefully that caused you to chuckle a little bit. Let's move on to our lesson. So can you solve this? Marcellus and Cortez play a video game in which each player earns or loses points. A player's total score after 2 turns is the sum of his points earned or lost. The player with the greater score after 2 turns wins. So we are going to solve a problem with Marcellus and Cortez. So Marcellus, he earned 123 points and he lost 180 points. So he earned 123 and he lost 180. It's always good in a word problem to underline the numbers you're going to be working with. Let's look at Marcellus. Oh, that is him. Let's look at Cortez. Cortez earned 185 points and he lost 255 points. Now, I don't know if you're more partial to Marcellus or to Cortez. I kind of think that Cortez is a pretty cool looking guy there, but you might like Marcellus better, so it is your choice. However, what we want to find out is who was the winner of the game. So let's move on. Who won the game? How are we going to figure this out? Go to the next slide. Here we got Marcellus. And again, I'm just repeating what it says. His score was 123 plus he lost 180. So I made an equation for him. So 123 positive plus 180 negative. Think of it in terms of money. He has $123 in his pocket, but he has to pay somebody $180. Is he going to end up still owing somebody, or is he going to have money left in his pocket? Well, because the 180 is bigger than the 123 and the 180 is negative, my answer is going to be negative 57. So Marcellus's score is negative 57. So let's take a look at Cortez. So Cortez, he earned 185 points, but he lost 255 points. So think of it as he has $185 in his pocket and he owes somebody 255. Well, he owes more than he has, so he's going to end up with a debt of negative 70. How do you figure that out? Well, you're actually subtracting 255 minus 185, and then you decide if the sign is positive or negative, and it will be negative because we already said he has a debt to pay more than he has in his pocket. So now we have to figure out who won the game. Did Marcellus win the game with negative 57 or did Cortez win the game with negative 70? Who has the higher score? Well, let's take a look. The greater score is the one that is closer to 0. Remember that. On the left side of the number line, the negative side, the number that is closer to 0 is the winner. Okay, the bigger number. So here's a number line. There's negative 57 on the number line, about. It's between 50 and 60, closer to 60 and negative 60. And where's negative 70 going to be on the number line? Let's find that. There's negative 70. So which one is closer to 0? That's going to be the higher score. Exactly. Negative 57 is a closer distance to 0 than negative 70. So the winner was, yes, Marcellus. He said, I won. Good for you, Marcellus. All right. Let's go on from there. And let's do a little bit more review. So what is an additive inverse? Do you remember from the last lesson what an additive inverse is? Remember? They're two sides of the same coin, so to speak, positive and negative. A number and its opposite is an additive inverse. So the sum when you add an additive inverse to a number is always 0. How does that work? The additive inverse of 6 is negative 6. So if I add 6, I'm going 6 to the right on the number line. And then I'm going to add a negative 6. I'm going to go back 6 to the left on the number line. You can picture that in your head. You're going to end back up on 0. You go 6 right, come back 6 left. Same with 30 and negative 30. You're going to end up with 0, right? Because negative 30 and positive 30 is saying, okay, if I start with negative 30, I'm going 30 to the left of 0. And then positive 30, I'm going to go back 30 to the right. And I'm going to hit 0. Okay, that's a review. Some more review here. What is negative 8 plus 2 equal? Negative 8 plus 2. Think of it as you owe somebody $8. The negatives is what you owe, but you have $2 in your pocket. If you pay your debt with the money you have in that pocket, are you still going to owe? Or are you going to be having some money left over? Right, you're still going to owe. How much are you going to owe? Well, let's show it on the number line here. So negative 8 going to the left, 8 units. So draw my 8 units. I went 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There's my negative 8. But I'm going to add 2, right? So if I add 2 to that, I'm going to go backwards, right? Let me clear my drawings. So now I have to add 2 back. So I'm at the negative 8. I'm going to jump 1, 2. This is where I'm going to land, right there. So show that. Our positive 2. And our final answer then is negative 6. So you will owe somebody still $6. Negative 8 plus positive 2 is equal to negative 6. That should be a review for you. What about subtracting integers? So far, all we've done is add integers. Now we need to learn how to subtract them. Remember what an integer is? It's a positive or negative whole number on the number line. It's not any in-between numbers like 3.5 or negative 6.25 or 1 3/4. None of those are integers, just the whole numbers. Okay, now we're going to subtract. 5 minus 3 equals question mark. Well, I bet you can do this one in your head really easily. However, we need to see how this looks on a number line. So let's bring up our number line. So first we're going to go 5 to the right because that's a positive, right? And then we're going to subtract 3. So which direction are we going to be going? Exactly. We're going to go backwards to the left. So this is our little minus sign showing us that we're going backwards now. And we're going backwards a positive 3, right? And we're going to end up on 2. So 5 minus 3 equals 2. And that's how you would show it on a number line. But now take a look at this, for example, now. Isn't 5 minus the 3 same as adding? Let's think about this. If I add 5 plus negative 3, right? Isn't that the same thing as 5 minus 3? Exactly. So you can use the additive inverse of positive 3 and add negative 3 to the 5 and get the same answer. So 5 minus 3 is the same as 5 plus negative 3. So what you want to do with subtracting integers, and it will be very helpful if you rewrite it in the addition instead of the subtraction. What you want to do is you want to take this minus sign and change it to a plus adding sign. And then you want to kind of put imaginary parentheses around the original number here. It was a positive 3, so you want to change it to its additive inverse of a negative 3. And for me, adding integers is a lot easier than subtracting integers. So I want to be changing my subtraction equations into addition equations. Because now it's pretty easy for me to say, oh, I have $5 in my pocket, but I owe somebody 3. I'm going to be left with $2, right? So 5 minus 3 is equal to 2, or you could say 5 plus negative 3 equals 2. And I would strongly suggest changing the subtraction equation to an addition equation when you're dealing with certain types of integers. 5 minus 3 is pretty easy. You can just know that's 2 in your head. But when you start getting negatives and positives all mixed together, it's easier to change it to an addition equation. Let's try another one here. Notice that subtracting 3 is the same as adding its opposite of negative 3. Keep that in mind. Good thing to pause the video and take a note on that. Subtracting 3 is the same as adding its opposite, its additive inverse. Try another one now. 4 minus 5. Now it gets a little trickier. 4 minus 5. Now it's going to become better to change it into an addition equation, but let's first look at it the way it is. So let's take the number line, and 4 means we're going to go to the right 4 spots, right? So we went 1, a 2, a 3, and a 4. We landed on the 4. That's where we need to be, okay? And then it says we're going to minus 5. What direction do we have to go to minus 5? Exactly. We're going to have to go backwards this way, right? Minus 5 is going to go backwards. We started at the 4 when we do it. So let's see what happens when we click on our arrow here. So that's positive 4. And now we're going to subtract. Here's your minus sign. 5. There's our arrow. There's our minus 5. And notice how we're going backwards 5. We start at 4 and go backwards from where we stopped on the first number and count backwards. So we're going to count 1, 2, did I count 3? Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. My arrow is ending up right there, which is negative 1, right? There it is. Negative 1 is what I land on. Now, is there a way to change the subtraction equation into an addition equation? Exactly. We keep the first number 4 the same. We change now to a adding sign. And what are we going to add? Instead of positive 5, we're going to add the opposite, the additive inverse of positive 5, which is negative 5. Did you say negative 5? Good for you. Same thing. You're going to get negative 1 either way. Same answer. So 4 minus 5 is the same as 4 plus negative 5. Again, you're taking the minus sign and changing it into an addition sign. You're putting imaginary parentheses around the second number and you're changing the sign. So it's positive 5 now. The opposite is going to be negative 5. So 4 minus 5 equals negative 1, or 4 plus negative 5 equals negative 1. Notice that subtracting 5 is the same as adding its opposite, negative 5. Hopefully that's clear to you. Let's move on. Rewrite the following subtraction equations as addition of the opposite. So let's start with the first one. 6 minus 2 equals, and I know you probably know it's 4. However, our goal is to rewrite the equation as an addition equation. So I'm going to be changing my minus sign to a plus sign. I'm going to put my imaginary parentheses around my 2, and I'm going to say that's a positive 2. I want to change it to the opposite of a positive 2. It's going to be 6 plus, what's the opposite of a positive 2? Right, negative 2, the additive inverse. So 6 minus 2 is equal to the same as 6 plus negative 2. Well, let's clear that, and that should pop up on our screen here. So 6 minus 2 is equal to 6 plus negative 2. And we know the answer to that would be, did you say 4? Excellent. You said positive 4. Perfect. Let's try another one. Negative 8 minus 6. We want to rewrite that equation as addition of the opposite. Change the subtraction sign to an adding sign. Put parentheses around the second number and say, okay, it's positive 6 now. I'm going to turn it into negative 6. And we're always going to keep our first number the way it was. So negative 8 is going to stay negative 8. So now I've got negative 8 plus negative 6. Negative 8 plus negative 6. So I owe somebody $8 and I owe somebody else $6. Am I going to be in debt? Exactly. I'm going to owe how much? Now I owe $14, right? 8 plus 6 is 14 and I'm in debt. So I negative it, negative 14. Let's just see that on the screen here. Negative 8 minus 6 is the same as negative 8 plus negative 6. And we already said that equaled negative 14. Hopefully you're getting the hang of this. Let's try another one. Okay, pause the video on this one and see if you can rewrite negative 7 minus negative 3 as an addition equation using the opposite. Pause the video, give it a try, and then come back on. Okay, we're back. Did you change the minus sign to an adding sign? Keep the negative 7 the way it was. And then change the number that we put in parentheses. This happens to already have the parentheses. What is the opposite of a negative 3? Exactly, a positive 3. We could just write 3. We don't have to put the positive sign in front of it. I'm just doing that for emphasis. So negative 7 minus negative 3 is the same as negative 7 plus positive 3. Notice how the negatives cancel each other out and become positive. So what would be the answer to negative 7 plus positive 3? Let's bring that up on our screen here. Negative 7 plus positive 3. How do you figure that out? Well, you have a bigger debt. than money in your pocket, correct? You owe $7. You have $3 in your pocket in which to pay the debt. You're still going to owe. How much are you still going to owe? Right, -4. -4. So you can see how on the left side here, subtraction with integers can be more confusing than adding with integers. So my suggestion, and it's a good one, I've been teaching math for a while here, is to change your subtraction equations into addition equations. Okay, let me clear my drawings. There's one more here, -3 minus -10. Pause the video, try it, see if you can change it to an addition equation, and then see if you can get the answer. And then come back on. Okay? -3 minus -10 is the same as changing the minus sign to an adding sign. Keep the -3 the way it was. The first number always stays the way it was. Change -10 to a positive 10. Okay, -3 plus positive 10. Let's bring that up on the screen. So -3 minus a -10 is the same as -3 plus a positive 10. What's the answer to that? What did you get when you paused the video? Did you get positive 7? Very good. Because you're saying I owe $3, but I have 10 in my pocket. When I pay my debt, I have $7 left to spend on my own. Okay, great work. Now it is your turn. I'll see you back in a minute. Okay, we're going to move on to more subtracting integers. -9 minus 7 equals question mark. Here's our number line. This one goes a little further. This one goes to positive 20 and -20 on the other end. So -9 minus 7. Let's see that on the number line. So first we're going to go -9. And notice how the arrow stops on the center line right here. It stops because we're not counting every number. We have -8 showing and -10, but we don't have -9 showing. But that's where -9 would be. Okay. Now let's keep going. Now we have to minus 7. How do we show that? So there's our -9 minus positive 7, right? No, minus more 7, right? Because we're going more to the left because we're subtracting. So we went 9, and then we're going 7 more to the left because it's a subtraction equation. Where are we going to end up? On -16. Now, we can also change this to an addition equation, which is what I would suggest. We keep the -9 there. We change to an addition equation. And what is our -7 going to become? Positive or plus adding -7. So it's the same as saying -9 plus -7. And then that's easy to figure out the answer to. We owe $9 and we owe $7. So altogether we owe -$16. So -9 minus 7 equals -16, or change it to an addition equation with the additive inverse. -9 plus -7 equals -16. Notice that subtracting 7 is the same as adding its opposite, -7. How about vertically? Can we do it vertically? Of course, we can have a number line that goes up and down. In fact, last year in the spring, when we went to virtual learning, we talked a little bit about how we can find a point on a coordinate plane going left and right and up and down. So let's become a little bit familiar with the up and down. Vertical subtraction is going to work the same way. The temperature is -2 degrees Celsius at the beginning of the day. Now be careful, this one isn't the same as what we've been doing. I'll show you, it's a slight change. And now the temperature is -5 degrees Celsius at the end of the day. How does that look on the number line? What is the change in the temperature? You want to know the change. How many degrees did it change? Well, first of all, ask yourself, did it go up or did it go down? Let's look at the number line. So there's -2 over here on the number line right here. There's 0. This happens to go up and down by 2's. So there's -2. Where's -5? -5 is right here between the 4 and the 6, right? So now we want to know the change. So we went right here. We want to know the difference from, let's circle that actually. We want to know the difference from -2 to -5. What's the difference? Difference is a key word that means subtraction. So we're really going -2 minus -5, right? Okay, let's clear. Let's see what happens. -2 minus -5 equals 3 degrees Celsius. How did I figure that out? Well, I changed my minus sign to a plus sign. I left -2 the same, and I changed my -5 in parentheses to a +5. And then I said, oh, okay, well, if I have $5 in my pocket, but I owe somebody 2, I'm going to be left with 3 of my own. Okay. The temperature dropped, we can say, by 3 degrees Celsius. It turned colder. We went farther down on the thermometer on our number line, farther from 0. So farther from 0 means the numbers get less when you're going in the negative direction. So the temperature is actually dropping and getting colder. It's a smaller temperature. Let's try another one. The temperature is -2 degrees Celsius at the beginning of the day and -10 degrees Celsius at the end of the day. What is the change in temperature? First of all, we're going to find where -2 is on the number line. There it is, same spot as before. Where is -10 on the number line? Right there. We want to know the difference, the change from -2 to -10. So we want to know how far of a distance is that. So we got to think through this a little bit. Did the temperature get warmer or colder? It got colder, right? Farther from 0. By how much? Well, you have to set up an equation. -2 minus -10. -2 minus -10. It equals 8 degrees, but you know how I got that? I changed my subtraction to an addition problem. So I changed it to -2 plus +10. And now I think of it in terms of money. I owe $2, but I have 10 in my pocket. When I pay my debt, yes, I'm still going to have $8 in my pocket. So let's clear and bring that up. The temperature dropped by 8 degrees Celsius. It turned colder. Keep that in mind as you're doing these. Okay, let's subtract the following integers. -7 minus 2. Pause the video, figure out the answer, come back on. -7 minus 2. Okay, it's the same as -7 plus -2. Remember, we're going to change the plus sign or the minus sign to a plus sign. And we put the imaginary parentheses here, and we're going to change it to a -2. Okay, so the answer then, what did you get? -7 plus -2, you're going to end up more in debt, right? How much? -9. Okay, next one, 3 minus 5 equals. Pause the video, give it a try, come back afterwards. Okay, did you rewrite 3 minus 5 as 3 plus -5? Good for you. Okay, 3 plus -5 is the same as having $3 in my pocket but owing 5 after I pay my debt. Do I still owe or do I have money left over? Right, I still owe how much? -2. I'm $2 in the hole. Okay, let's try another one. -1 minus -3. Pause the video, try this. Rewrite it as an addition equation. And see if we got the right answer here. Did you write -1 plus +3? Okay, and did you figure out the answer to be 2? +2? All right. Then you're getting this. Great job. Try -8 minus -4. Again, pause the video. Did you get -8? Oh, that one wasn't changed. That one should be changed. Should be -8 plus +4. That's my typo there. -8 plus +4. What is the answer going to be to that? You owe $8, but you have 4 in your pocket. Right, -4. That's how much you still owe. All right, let's move on to you giving this a try again. So I'll see you back in a minute. Welcome back. Now we're going to do a little higher order thinking. I know you can do it. It's for a challenge. So we're going to pause the video and try these. Find the answer to, 3 numbers. 3 minus -2 minus 5. What does that equal? And secondly, 5 minus 4 minus -6. What does that equal? Pause the video, give it a try. Okay, did you try? I hope so. All right, so we have, let's take a look at it. 3 minus -2. I'm going to rewrite that as 3 plus +2. Okay, do that part first. What is 3 plus +2? 5, right? 3 plus 2 is 5. Okay, we still got this part here though. So we got 5, and then we got to put this up here. 5 minus the 5 that's still there. 5 minus 5, that's the same as 5 plus -5. Those are additive inverses, aren't they? We change this to 5. Let me change my color. We change this to 5 plus -5 in parentheses. We have an additive inverse of 5 positive and 5 negative. So our answer is going to be 0, right? Oh, there's another one there. Our answer is 0. Okay, look at the second one. We'll do the third one together in a minute. 5 minus 4 minus -6. So first we do 5 minus 4. That's pretty easy. We could change it to plus -4 if we wanted, but I just know 5 minus 4 is 1, right? So 5 minus 4 is 1. And then I'm going to subtract the -6. So now this is where I want to rewrite this. So 1 minus -6 is the same as 1 plus +6. There we go. What is 1 plus 6? 7, right? So the answer should be 7. There it is, positive 7. Let's do the last one together. 7 minus negative 10 minus 12. So we're going to change it to an addition equation. 7 plus, what's the opposite of negative 10? Positive 10. I could put the plus sign in front of it if I want. I'm not going to. 7 plus 10. What's 7 plus 10? Right, 17. And I still got this part here that I got to put up there. Minus 12, right? 17 minus 12. So I could rewrite that if I wanted and say it's 17 plus negative 12. But I just know how to do 17 minus 12. How do I do 17 minus 12? I do it vertically if I don't know in my head, right? And I go 7 minus 2 is 5. 1 minus 1 is 0. So the answer should be a positive 5. So let's erase this. Oops. Let's erase. Oh, let me erase this. Finally, it's letting me. Okay, there. So positive 5 is the answer. Okay, let's try another one. Focus on higher order thinking. This is an addition equation. And there's another addition equation, right? How do you do this? Pause the video, give it a try, come back. Okay, did you do that? All right, negative 9 plus 12. I owe $9, but I have 12 in my pocket. Am I going to be in the positive or the negative? Right, I'm going to be positive what? 3, right? Okay, now I'm at positive 3 plus my negative 7. So I have $3 in my pocket, but I owe somebody else $7. I'm going to end up in what? Yeah, the negative, right? Negative what? Negative 4. Let's see if the answer pops up for us. There it is, negative 4. Okay. Oh, I didn't mean to click on that. There's the answer to the second one, negative 10. So this is how it works. 20 plus negative 25. I have $20 in my pocket, but I owe 25. So I'm going to be $5 in debt. Plus, I'm adding another $5 in debt to somebody else. I am now a total of $10 in debt. Okay? Okay. Let's move on here. Come back on the screen here. Your homework then is going to be doing page 22, numbers 3 to 14, and page 23, numbers 16, 17, 18, and 19. So that will be your homework. And give that a try. That should be on Google Classroom for you. And we'll see you next time. Bye.